Michelob Ultra and Myrtle Beach wholesaler Southern Crown Partners Incorporated know our consumers enjoy relaxing days on the water with Mich Ultra's crisp and refreshing taste in hand. It's important to remember to drink and boat responsibly. Choose to be or to designate a sober skipper before leaving the dock. Do it for your family and friends, your passengers, and everyone else on board. Michelob Ultra salutes all sober skippers who take the pledge. Cheers, and we'll see you on the water.
In Myrtle Beach, you always go at your own pace. Lie out on the sand, lie out by the pool, go boogie boarding, go surfing, walk the boardwalk, walk the marsh walk, golf at one of 90 golf courses, mini golf at one of 50 mini golf courses, fish off a pier, fish from a chartered boat, go shopping, get drinks, eat the freshest seafood. The list is exhaustive, but the experience isn't. You can go all out or do nothing at all. How you relax is up to you. There is so much to do and explore, whether you're traveling with friends, family, or just yourself. With 60 miles of beach, you're going to find your place. If this sounds like what you need, then this is where you belong.
Trilogy Outdoors.
All right, folks, like we said, we are now back live here at Sparks Toyota, and we're coming to you through the Sparks Toyota Tundra studio. And who else we sponsored by? Who's going to do it this part? Who's going to do this?
Marshall's Marine.
There you go. And Key West Boats?
In Key West Boats, where your boat is waiting.
Every day.
Every day's a boat show.
You like that, didn't you?
Fred added his own twist.
I like that.
Don't forget our friends over at Monarch Group and Express Electrical Services. And by the way, we need to get with Express Electrical Services.
Yes.
Because we can get the River Lady. We got to get her on the boat. By the way, y'all, Matt Barnador, the River Rat, Captain Matt, is in the house.
Finally.
He's joined us. He's live with us.
We're in his neighborhood.
We're in his hood. I knew.
Seaway.
But he was already coming, and he didn't even know where we were going to be when he said
It might have been my back porch. He was coming anyway.
Yes, sir. I was on the way.
You were on the way in that brand new black DNR looking truck.
Yep. He was coming no matter what. But I'll tell you, we hang on a second, make sure we're recording here, sounding good. So we had to play that the senator's interview, and for anybody that listened, I've gotten a couple texts already that said they enjoyed it. Stephen had a great trip to Africa. He went over and guided and took his family hunting also.
Wow.
And had a great time. So I hate y'all didn't get to hear that because we had some bad reception in here for some reason, so we weren't able to listen to it. But we are at Sparks Toyota, and we're going to have Kate Holmes and Michael Holmes join us. Michael is one of the sales staff here, and their son Luca, who we've talked about in the past, and Michael and I have talked, they've started a charity to help families that go through the same thing in the same situation that they were in. And they have a golf tournament coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to have them on to talk about how you can get involved in that.
I spoke to him outside. Didn't realize that was him.
He didn't realize that was Chip. I mean, Michael. Yep.
Nice guy.
All right. So here's the other one. We got one of our listeners every week of Fishhead, true Fishhead. Chip Bull works here. Chip is an avid fisherman and a really good fisherman. Most of the captains and girls in it know Chip and recognize him. Chip's going to sit down with us, and he's going to talk about some of the vehicles here, and he's going to talk about some of the fishing reports. And we're trying to think what else. We want to send some thoughts out for the family of the young man right now who they are searching for, and the search continues as far as we know right now.
Yep, it's still ongoing.
All the Pollies.
Hats off to all the first responders that went out there yesterday through the night, last night. I understand that a lot of them were out there way past dark, even though they called the search off after dark because that's, it's a safety thing. But I've been in touch with some of our guys, and they stayed out really late last night. And so I'm sure at first light today they're all back out there. So they're going to continue looking and
I got some video from the ocean this morning, and I thought it was going to be rough. It was really slick, so hopefully everybody can get out there and help.
So what happened, guys, is two teenagers, from what we understand, was swimming. One of them made it back, one didn't, but they caught in a rip current, obviously. Otherwise, I think he would have been okay. But just a short education. If you get caught in a rip current, do not swim against it. Try it back towards the beach. You swim parallel to the beach. It'll let you go. then you can ease your way back in.
That's right.
Don't fight the rip current. Swim parallel with the beach, and you'll get out of it.
That is
don't
truth.
panic. Don't panic.
The panicking is always the worst part.
Yes.
That's what gets you. That's that panicking. And so I can tell you could be the most seasoned swimmer, and everybody's going to panic. I would panic. And and the thing is I do see that our local news media outlets, they do a little education on rip currents. You see it all the time on our local social media pages. But if you don't know what you're looking for when you're standing there looking at the ocean and you see something, you just don't know what it is. It's probably rip current.
Yep.
So and that ocean can change in the just a second. Depending on a wind change can make it rough. Or we've had some weather the past couple of days. So I'm glad that it's glassy. Right? Is that what it?
Yeah.
So it's real glassy out there today and smooth. So hopefully those conditions will hold. And give everybody an opportunity to get out and start reinstitute their search.
If you see a lot of surfers out, then you got rip currents going on, because the rip currents along in conjunction with the waves are a lot of this flushing out from the wave action.
Yep.
So if there's a lot of surfers out and you're not familiar with the ocean, you can look at the ocean and read it. You'll see it looking steady, but then one section's going to look a little weird. That's the rip current.
Yep.
And if you sit there and study it and just watch it for a minute, you'll see this running offshore. So if you get caught in one, just lay on your back, if nothing else, do a rest stroke and swim parallel to the beach, either direction, or just ride it out, because what's going to happen is it'll pull you offshore a little bit and it's going to stop.
Yep.
And so the main thing, like you said, don't panic. And if nothing else, just lay on your back and float where you're not getting exhausted, and it'll let you go, and then you can ease your way back to the beach.
And also pay attention if you're a guest from out of town, and you might be in town and you're listening in. Pay attention when you go to the beach. Look at the flags on the coast, on the lifeguard stands.
And Paulie's does not have lifeguards.
Right, exactly.
So that means it's the responsibility of it's up to you, and it's up to the people that are with you to look out for each other.
Yep.
And that's just the way it is. And it's the ocean. It's not a swimming pool. It's not a lake. It's the ocean. It's a different game.
Let me tell you, I'm the dad of a 7-year-old, very active, and a 10-year-old. When I go to the beach, my head's on a swivel.
That's right.
And I try to, they don't really like to go out past their knees, but I just keep my head on the swivel the entire time, because you never know, what could happen. But I will say, best advice, relax, float away from the beach, let it take you, and then parallel the beach, and you'll get right out of it. So that's a nice tundra right there behind y'all.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
It's
And they got some pretty good specials on it, and you see they've dropped the price pretty tremendously. But the capstone, that's the capstone edition, and I want to get Chip to explain a little more about the capstone edition, because I understand that's the new top of the line edition.
The screen, the navigation screen on that thing. Oh my!
Is it nice?
It
got hardwood in it too, doesn't it?
Bigger than my laptop, huh?
It is way bigger than that laptop. I mean, you can play video games on that thing. And the back glass rolls. Luke pointed out the back glass rolls down.
Hey, mine does too.
Oh.
I love it.
With the
I'm telling you, I love it, because I can, if I need to holler at somebody behind me, I can roll it down.
Roll it down and yell.
Yep.
And they got the new Land Cruiser out there, and that one has.
I like it.
You can watch cameras all the way around it.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, and
I can't have a truck without that.
They've got the base edition out there, and then they've got the throwback, like the first edition out there. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was only 8,000 made. The one to the left.
The pewter gray. I mean, it's a pretty truck.
It's beautiful.
It's too pretty to be pulling my boat with.
It's beautiful. Yeah. No. But I can tell you what. I can give many shouts out to our friends here at Sparks Toyota, because I am a customer here as well. But I can tell you that the Highlander, my wife's, I can't guarantee that it saved her life, but I can tell you that it took a very hard hit.
Right.
And anybody that saw the car couldn't believe that she was not hurt any worse than she was.
That was the day we did a tournament.
Yep.
And you had to leave, probably 2 hours in. You sent us that picture, and I think all of us on the boat, we all got on the VHF, and we're like, "Did you see the picture of her car?" And it was amazing that she came out with very little injury. I know she was injured, but not. It could have been a lot.
Could have been a lot worse. I'm glad the kids weren't with her.
Yeah.
I tell you what's impressive to me is we walked into the service area, and I looked and I see these people sitting around on this high top chairs in the bar and watching TV, and I'm like, what is? I thought they might work here, be some salespeople or something. No.
Yep.
These guys are just hanging out, getting their car service worked on. They're doing it in comfort.
Yep. And I'll say I am one of those people when I come. I normally prop up on one of these high tops right here, put my computer over there and wait. And it is nice. Got coffee back there in the back and everything else. And they come in and talk to you, keep you updated on what they're doing on your vehicle, come ask you questions. And it's comfortable. But one joke that we had when Tommy and I walked in, I said, "Is this a library?"
It is.
It was like there's like 13 people over there, and I didn't hear a person. So I was like, "They're getting ready to get woken up here in a minute when we start doing the radio show."
Well, there's something I've been wanting you to elaborate on that I've kind of been reading with the guys this week. What's the deal with the snappers, buddy?
Oh boy, do we really want to elaborate on snappers?
I want to hear about it and what happened.
I want to know this. So I'm going to read verbatim. Hang on, because I said I was going to do it. I'm going to read it verbatim. Exactly what announcement they put out. When they put this announcement out, when they announced.
Who is they?
They would be the South Atlantic Fisheries Management Council.
So they're managing the fishery.
They manage the fishery.
Okay, we're managing the fishery by a federal agency.
Let's just go ahead and say they over-manage the fishery. But here we go. Here's your announcement. Okay, so commercial opens at 12:01 a.m. local time on July 8th, 2024, and closes at 12:01 a.m. local time on January 1st, 2025, okay? Unless the catch limit is reached before then. The trip limit is 75 pounds gutted weight. Okay, then it goes recreational. Opens at 12:01 local time on July 12th, 2024, and closes at 12:01 a.m. local time on July 13th, 2024.
So how many total hours is that, E?
That would be 24 hours.
So we get 24 hours, irregardless of the weather,
To catch one.
One fish.
One red snapper. But hang on now. The bag limit is one fish per person. NOAA Fisheries may change the opening date due to small craft advisories for safety at sea. This is where we went. Okay, so this is where we had many politicians reaching out day before yesterday because at that point there was a small craft warning. All right, so there's small craft advisory, there's small craft warning, I think.
That's a possibility.
But so there was that, and no one answered, no one responded.
No one from
South Atlantic Fisheries. Yes.
Management.
From the management group.
So management didn't respond.
Management didn't respond. They made no change.
Management was on vacation.
They were busy doing
other things.
Fishery things.
Yeah, fishery stuff, managing it.
So being connected the way that
Sounds
we are,
fishy.
and everybody lets us know pretty much what's going on. We know of one boat out of Merle's Inlet that went yesterday.
And how did he get one?
He did not catch any.
Good Lord.
Yep, and I know one of the people on that boat is probably listening right now, and I'm not going to call his name out, but I heard. Listen, so
Did they know what? These are guys.
Yeah, they knew the forecast. Yeah, they're able seamen.
No, what I'm saying is, were they knowledgeable of where to go catch them? They knew where to go.
Yeah, they knew where to go,
and they didn't get any.
They didn't get any.
Wow.
All right, so here's the deal. Hutch, owner of Key West Boats, and several of my friends went out of Charleston.
Right.
They watched the weather, watched the radar, saw everything, and they went to the south 45 miles. They went southeast 45 miles from Charleston. They fished in 2-foot seas at 8 seconds pretty much all day until they came home.
Wide open.
They avoided any rain, and they had their limit of red snapper. Biggest was 32 pounds.
They had 3 fish when they got back, but the big one was 32 pounds.
Yeah.
But
they had 10 fish. These 10 people on the boat.
These little red snappers are 32 pounds.
Yep, the little ones. They're protected though. They're endangered.
They are endangered. It's kind of like those.
They're endangered.
Loggerhead turtles are endangered.
Yeah. So who knows where this is going to go? Stephen and I talked yesterday off the air, and Stephen and Russell Fry, Representative Russell Fry, who has been great, honestly, for the outdoorsman. We enjoyed a night during Christmas with him, most of us. But Russell's been great. He's been a proponent for the outdoorsman. And, Stephen, I'm not trying to put words in Stephen's mouth, but I'm going to say exactly what Stephen said yesterday. Nothing's going to happen until we take our fishery back.
Right.
Nothing is going to happen.
That's kind of been the discussion that we've been having is that
until the state starts to manage their fisheries.
Yeah. I mean, the how many of these management people actually fish for red snapper? I mean, just a wild guess, percentage-wise. I mean, are they out? Are they out?
Tommy, you got to be careful in this. So you just stay back, okay? You stay out. We don't want you. We don't want you to get in trouble.
Hey, the thing is, we're responsible to be good stewards.
That's our job.
But we want to base this on science, not on feelings.
That's right.
So, but when you give some folks some control and some power,
yep,
they're going to exercise that power.
That's right.
And until we decide that we've had enough of that, and then we're going to go, okay, stop, enough. I mean, now it's going to move into king mackerel next, right?
Oh, boy. Yep.
So is there a lot of pressure on king mackerel? Yeah. I mean, we just go down to Fort Pierce for the Nationals.
Yep.
And what we call the jerk boats and the commercial guys, deck loading king mackerel, but they can't catch snapper.
No.
They can't sell snapper. They can't sell grouper. I mean, can you grouper fish right now?
So,
or is they being managed?
So interesting thing you mentioned right there. Jason's made a lot of friends in Florida, and Jason's got a friend in Florida who is selling king mackerel for more than grouper right now.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So, but
I don't understand that market.
I don't either. So you go north of us. Go to North Carolina. Our friends to the north.
Right.
King mackerel boats up there, commercial king mackerel permits are
nothing.
There's tons of them.
Yeah, you can get it without no problem.
Yeah, like when we went up to fish the national championships, like we were getting run over by commercial boats. Like they were telling us to get out their way.
Wherever Carolina
and all they're doing is pulling two lines. You call it. They pull two lines, and both with a planer on them.
Right.
And both with a spoon or something of that nature.
That's right.
And all they do is troll through the fish and sling them in and put the line back out. Sling them in, put the line back out. Sling them in, put the line back out.
That's what the guys in Florida are doing, and they're jerking on the drone spoons
and make it.
Yeah, they're just giving it action by jerking on the lines. It's called them jerk boats, and they'll deck load them. Deck load those fish every day.
Yep.
Wow.
But I mean, I'm not condemning the commercial guys because there's a market for it, which means we're eating it.
That's right.
Same thing as North Carolina with the flounder.
Flounder. Yep.
60% of the flounder coming out of North Carolina. But if you went to Merle's Inlet, where'd your flounder come from?
North Carolina.
There you go.
All right, so I'm with you on that, and I don't think in any way, shape, or form that Magnuson-Stevens Act, which was formed in 1970. I don't think it takes into account anything that we've got going on now. I don't think it takes into account, first off, the attention that we've given to resources since then to now. I don't think it takes into account the amount of people that are out there targeting resources. I don't think it takes into account environmental changes. I don't think it takes into account habitat. There's so many things with that Magnuson-Stevens Act. Honestly, it needs to be thrown out, rewritten. And I'm telling you, in November, if we all vote the right way, there's a man that's going to go up there and make some changes.
Well, and the thing is, we're all environmentalists that fish. We want to be able to have success with it.
We care.
Right.
Exactly.
But from personal experience, I've seen where the management does not accept any public input as having legitimacy.
No, they
at
don't.
all.
They don't. They don't. And
it's anecdotal to them.
Did you see my post I put up on Grand Strand Fishing Reports, which is now 14,000 people strong?
Wow, that's awesome.
So I put it up and I said, listen, I'm like y'all. Like, I don't know if it makes a difference, but here it is about the meeting for the mackerel. King and Spanish, by the way. I put it up and then I had people say, like, oh, you can't make a difference, blah, blah, blah. They're not listening to you. I agree with them. Completely agree with them. We've been to so many different things. Fred and I went to Washington, D.C.
And I've been to the one they had in Charleston for public input. Public input was a complete waste of time. I knew that about halfway through because they didn't care what the public had to say. They were required to have a public hearing to let the public voice it, but that had no impact on what they did.
Yep, and I'll tell you, Robert Thompson's a great friend of mine. Rube, was on the advisory panel for the snapper grouper committee. They don't listen to him. They don't.
No.
Regardless. Hey, Jason.
Hey, what's up? How you
Regardless, they don't listen, man.
No.
They just, it doesn't matter. You're speaking on deaf ears. So with that being said, let's get on something positive.
Yeah, and I just wanted to bring up.
Let's get on something positive. I want to talk about the positive feedback from last Saturday.
Okay.
Tons of it. I don't know what y'all have heard. I hate that you weren't there. I know you've heard it because you weren't side by side with them all week.
Speaking to Tommy,
So much positive vibes out of last week. Jeff Benton had a blast, and to think that was those were his first fish ever in Myrtle's Inlet.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it was really neat to watch because so the chief and everybody started getting a little competitive once they started catching fish.
Oh, absolutely, it was.
It got real competitive.
Don't think it wasn't. It was a.
Don't think Chief
it was a tournament.
Yeah. So and it was like, what was really neat was watching. So Jeff lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yep.
And it's kind of like what I did when I really, when I really got back into it. I really enjoy it now. It's what I look forward to. But when Jeff, seeing him light up when he was catching his fish, and then the competition between all the first responders. But, we had talked about it moving forward. I want to do it again. Matter of fact.
There's not want to.
There's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
And so I think, this is going to be a bigger thing next time. And whether we can go over to maybe Matt the River Rat.
Oh no, we're doing one. We're doing one with Matt the River Rat, and we're going to talk about that. And we'll put him on the spot. We're definitely going to do one over there with Matt because I think it'll be great. And we can get the Conway guys in over there. We can get people that live out there. Find some Horry County police out there. I think we're going to have a tough time keeping Chief Hill from showing up. But
Come on.
But he'll be there.
But you probably a good point though. Dockside fishing.
Yeah, Tommy, why don't you tell everybody if they weren't listening last week what was going on?
All right,
so what were we doing?
So Cat Me and he invited. We had Lieutenant Jeff Benton from Horry County Sheriff's Office and brought his daughter. We had Chief Joe Hill, of course Jay Gregg, local DNR officer here in Horry County. He came over. Sarge was out there. We had the fire guys out there.
We had Aaron Bostick and Bree Bostick.
Okay, I didn't know her name.
Yep.
And then we did a little tournament, and they fished right there off the dock at Crazy Sister, and Crazy Sister did a phenomenal job of letting us use their space,
Plunder their dock,
and so, and of course we had Tony was out there guiding. And Chris was out there guiding, and it was just a good time. So we started catching fish, and I think once everybody hooked up, then they were kind of hooked at that point.
So how many flounder did they catch, Tom?
I don't remember
So we sat back 12 to 13.
Yeah, it was
12 or
something like
13.
And multi-species.
Yeah.
Two cobia.
That was really cool.
And a mystery fish that spooled Sarge.
Yeah.
Well, and then let's talk about that mystery fish.
The catch of the day was Tony.
Yeah,
Tony had to definitely
catch of the day.
On his little
rod. He caught the rod.
I'm glad the Sarge caught his rod too, because I know he's listening because he's texting me.
You bought it.
I bought it for you for a birthday present.
You better have that rod.
And then not to mention the other mystery fish that Jay.
Wait a minute, you bought it for him. That's that rod I gave you.
No.
Well, tell him explain what we're talking about.
Well, the fishing tournament we did.
So
I'm not talking about the rod. I'm talking about the rod.
How did that rod get in the water?
So
he dropped it. I mean, that's something that I would do. That's a Tommy move. But Sarge.
But then Tony went fishing for the fishing rod.
Tony went fishing for the fishing rod and caught it.
I think we had an excellent idea. We save it, let it dry out, leave it the same condition, and spray paint it gold to the next person. That's the golden rod.
Prize. The golden rod.
No, it was an awesome time, and I got a lot of feedback. I know from my people, and I know a lot of people. I know you got feedback, so I think it's something that we do
regular,
maybe once a month.
I'm with you. I truly don't think that we can. I don't think that we can't do it once a month, and what I think we do is this. So this was how it worked when I started asking people, when I invited people. Of course, I invited personal friends for the first one, okay?
Well, sure.
That's the only way to do it. Like, I invited personal friends. But let me tell you, when I got to Jeff Benton, I said, you nominate the next person.
There you go.
Jeff nominated Bree, okay? I don't want to offend anybody, but Jeff nominated Bree. Well, when I called Bree and notified her she was invited, she nominated somebody. Well, of course she nominated Aaron, her husband, who's a firefighter.
Well, there you go. That works.
So now what we'll do is we'll go to Aaron, and I'll let Aaron nominate somebody, and then we'll go to them and nominate somebody. And then what we'll do, I know you've got a really cool city policeman over there that a lot of people love.
Yes.
In Conway, and
which one?
Well, I know
which one.
And we're going to make sure we get him first, and we'll talk this off the air.
Yeah.
We'll get him first, then we'll let him invite somebody, and then we'll go and we'll, I know some other firefighters that I'd like to invite.
Hold on, let me
hang on.
Sarge, that is the boat didn't. You dropped it.
Yeah,
there is no way.
He said the boat wake knocked.
He said the boat knocked it off. Yeah, I called that out. No, I'm gonna tell you what. You know what's gonna happen, right? It's gonna end up being a big deal. We're gonna start doing this a lot, and then there's gonna be a competition between
the departments.
The departments between the donut eaters and the hose draggers.
Oh, see, I knew we were going there with the
that could be misconstrued.
So Matt, what could they do over at Shore Marina, man? We're going brim fishing or catfishing or what?
Well, I've seen them all come out of the marina. We've got brim, bass, and catfish. I've seen all come out of the marina. So I mean,
but it needs to be dockside.
I think we live bait it just like we did over there.
I think the best opportunity would be brim.
I think that would be either way. We can travel. I mean, we can go to other places. It's not just confined.
No, listen. We got to go to North Myrtle.
I bet you know what
we need to get a break in. It's 9:00.
Okay, all right. We're going to go to break. All right. I heard that. Y'all can't hear Jenna, but she did say we needed to go to break, and y'all right. So hold those thoughts. We're going to go to break. We come back. We'll talk a little more about this, and then we're going to have Kate and Michael Holmes join us. So let's go to break. And, again, you're listening to the Trilogy Outdoors Radio Show, and we're right here on Gator 107.9. But here's the deal. Come right now. Come to Sparks Toyota. Come in the right door up front, and I've got some hats and some shirts right here. The next 5 people to come up and say they're listening to the radio show, right now I'm going to give you your choice. Hats, shirts, whatever you want right here. Come get a choice. So come see us. But right now, don't go anywhere. We're right back on the other side of the break. Hey, y'all, Captain E here with Southern Anglers Radio Show, and I'll tell you what, I am super excited to be down in the Pond Road Storage in Murrells Inlet. I'm located within moments of either going to the river or going to put in the inlet. I'm keeping that Key West 250 Bay Reef indoors, and it is staying in great shape. I only have to wash the boat once now, and that's when I put it up and not before I take it to go fishing. But you can get incredible options here. 20-foot wide, 50-foot deep with 14-foot roll-up doors, a most state-of-the-art security system to keep you that peace of mind on all your products that you may keep in these storage buildings. You've got climate-controlled or non-climate controlled outdoor storage for trailers, RVs, and such. You can't go wrong. 843-855-7375. Give Chris Collins a good call down there. We can't wait. We love broadcasting down here inside the storage building. And you need to come down here and check it out, too. Come down. Pond Road Storage, right here in Murrells Inlet. Perry's Bait and Tackle has been making their customers' days on the water more successful and enjoyable for nearly 70 years. Perry's is a fully staffed and stocked family-owned tackle shop just north of the Marsh Wall. They have always taken pride in the best hand-tied rigs and a knowledgeable staff that is comprised of charter captains and experienced anglers. Their close proximity to the water allow them to offer the very best in live bait, and the options are endless. Perry's is now fully stocked with everything you need to make your day on the water a success. If you're in town visiting with no equipment, Perry's is your one-stop shop with apparel, tackle, baits, rods and reels, and boating supplies. Perry's Bait and Tackle, serving Murrells Inlet since 1954. All right, fish heads, we are back. It is the Trilogy Outdoors Radio Show coming to you live here from Sparks Toyota. And I keep saying Tundra because I'm so used to saying it.
It's still a good truck.
Yeah, I know. We're coming to you via the Toyota Tundra studio, and we are at Sparks Toyota, and right now we are sitting in the showroom here. We've already had somebody come in and grab a couple hats and shirts, and we're also brought to you by Key West Boats and Marshall's Marine of Lake City of Georgetown, where every day is a boat show.
Every day!
And if you go over there, you can find a boat, just like our next guest who's going to join us for a few minutes, and that is Chip Poole and his Express that he is torturing the fish in Murrells Inlet with. Now, you know, it's a joke. We have a joke because we have a little group text between some of your fellow employees about how much you fish. And they're wondering, if you do anything else on your days off other than fish.
For sure. Just try to fish little windows, be out there at the right times, and get back to my girls and get to the beach in the afternoon.
One thing I know about you is you know your times, because I think you and I both, about 4 months ago, there was only 2 cars in the parking lot at the landing. Remember that day? The weather was absolutely terrible. And there's 2 cars in the parking lot. And in that big old Merle's Inlet, the 2 boats are fishing side by side. And that was you and me.
That's right.
Remember that with the trout?
I do. You gave me a little info a while back, and it led us to the same place. And it was a lot of fun on a nasty day.
Yep. Well, I wanted to get you on here for a minute real quick to talk about fishing, but I do want to talk about the vehicles, and I wanted to personally tell you thank you. You guys, all of you, when Kim went through her issue in the wreck and everything else, every single person here from Dave Bowering over there to you to Dave McGann, Patrick, played a big role in helping her find a perfect vehicle to replace our Highlander that we did not want to get rid of, that we were enjoying, which you sold us as well. But she is loving that Sienna.
Well, it's a great vehicle and turned a negative into a positive, and I'm glad she wasn't hurt worse, and that's very important. But Sienna's a very, very great people mover.
She loves it, dude. And she's leaving tomorrow morning for Florida. So she's on a road trip, so they're going to road trip for the first time in it and got plenty of room to put everything. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be there. I've got a big fishing tournament myself next weekend. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to be there except for I may fly in and fly out or drive in and drive out for a day or 2 over there. But real quick, I want to hear you and I were talking. What do you think about the status of flounder in Merle's Inlet right now?
It's amazing. I've never been that great of a flounder fisherman. I don't do the mud minnow trolling.
Right.
Had different people help me out earlier, larger baits around structure and getting the larger fish to come to the larger bait, and trying to fish up in the rocks to try to get the larger fish instead of just trolling with the mud minnows. But obviously you can catch big flounders doing that as well. But
you just hit on something that's huge that a lot of people overlook, and that is fishing on structure. Like not like around structure, but fishing on structure. And like during the last flounder tournament, I'm going to say that somebody did text me during the tournament. He knew I was fishing because he was listening to the radio show, and he gave me a heads up on a spot that was holding some fish. Unfortunately, it was too rough. I couldn't fish there. But it does seem, and I know you catch a lot of big flounder out there where you fish, but it does seem that a lot of the flounder this year in the tournaments have all come from similar areas to where you're fishing, and that is on that structure. I wonder why it is. Like, because, I mean, we're all under the understanding that flounder want to, they're going to lay out. They want somewhere comfortable, maybe beside it. But it sounds like y'all are catching them literally on top of the rocks, like fishing on rock.
Well, it's you can sit there and, I guess, never talked to a fish. I don't know for sure. But
I love it.
But I would have to imagine, they can sit there by a structure and feel very comfortable. The bait's near the structure so the other predators can't get there, so they can be the lazy flounder dug in they are, and when they see the right one, pounce at it.
Ambush.
It's hard.
That's what I was thinking. That the other fish, say the bluefish and Spanish and everything else, redfish, are pushing the bait to the rocks. And we all know when we fish the rocks, you watch the bait, they come down like hugging up the rocks the whole way down. Mm-hmm. So they're sitting there. It only makes sense. Only makes sense.
I would think so, and just watching others and, through the years paying attention to where you caught fish and always learning every day. I've fished it 35 years as much as anybody that works a lot, like most of us, and I learn every day. And
Class of 89 Myrtle Beach High School, right?
Class 89.
Class of 89 Lake City High School right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was a big surfer, dude. I mean, like, he's a surfer and fell into fishing, right?
Yeah, I don't think you can surf in Lake City, though.
No, I wouldn't. We did surfing.
In the lake, maybe.
I did. No.
Oh.
We did dirt road surfing. You ever done that?
No, I don't want to.
No, I don't want to know.
Oh, that was fun. Oh, yeah, where you stood on the top of a Toyota Celica and went down the dirt road and see how long you could stay on top.
Jesus.
That was our version of surfing.
That sounds very, very.
But that was our version of surfing. But that man right there can fish. He can catch fish. He's very knowledgeable, and I love when he texts me info and stuff. And, like, I joke about it because I'll say, like to Jason Burton, and I'll say, all right, so this is what Chip said. But he said, look, I can't say nothing because you'll send me one like, hey, man, between us. And then and I try to honor that because our job is to share intel, but at the same time, like I'm not going to tell people spots or anything like that. But I am going to tell you, I sent you that trout picture yesterday.
Yeah.
So a popular spot that we both like to fish is loaded right now. First 2 hours of the rise. Yeah. We'll go off air and I'll tell you that exactly.
I got a question. Now, this is totally off topic. I'm scrolling through your used car inventory right now.
I'm shopping.
I'm shopping.
He's shopping.
What does certified mean?
It is an extension of the powertrain warranty, and it also gives you 2 years, 30,000 miles complimentary maintenance here. It sparks on top of that, but it just extends out that powertrain warranty and ensures you've got a very inspected, solid vehicle at first, and then enjoy the benefits of the complimentary maintenance on top of it and more warranty.
Awesome. That's great, and that's what Kim has gotten with her. Both of her vehicles were certified, the Highlander and the van.
That's it.
All right. Well, that answers my question because I didn't know, and so you got two. It says 216 used cars, and you've got a lot of selection here, and of course, I've got my eye on two. But I was wanting to know that what that meant because I've never seen it. I don't. Instead of looking, so
correct. And instead of just having certification on the Toyota vehicles, we can do it on other vehicles as well.
Well, you and I were talking that Mercedes in the lobby over here. Really,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's really nice. And what about the Bronco? This is the Bronco, right? That's that salt seafoam color.
No,
that's a Toyota. That's a Toyota.
That's a 1971 Land Cruiser.
That's a Land Cruiser.
All right. I'm sorry.
Did he really just say Bronco?
I can't believe it. I'm fired.
Hang on.
I'm taking the headset off. Y'all have a good time.
Hang on. Did he really just say
I don't know. I don't know old
Now,
cars
wait a minute. They do have a Mercedes in the showroom.
They do? Yeah, you're right.
The judge is going to look good.
I know. Well, that is a beautiful car there. Is that one for sale too? Or is that just a show car?
The old Land Cruiser?
Yeah.
It's not for sale.
So
that's the only vehicle here that's not for sale.
Does Patrick own it?
Yes, I believe he does.
It's for sale. I'm going to tell you because knowing Patrick as long as I have, anything's for sale.
I'm sure you could figure out a way to get it out of here.
You better have deep pockets.
No, my pockets are not deep. So that's good. That answered my question. So when I'm going to go out and find these two, we're going to get with you afterwards and go just look at them, see what they're about. And
I agree. That sounds great, Chip. Listen, thank you so much. We're going to move on to one of your coworkers, Michael and Kate Holmes here. Don't go. We're going to have you back later if you want to. I'd love to talk to you more because we need to talk tarpon. I got Fred here from down south, so you and Fred could have a good conversation about the down south fishery. So
I'll do a lot of listening.
All right, if you don't get busy with a customer, you come back, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chip.
Hey, thank you for all you do.
Great, man. We appreciate you. All right, Michael, you can switch up. We're going to pull in Michael here, and we've got Miss Kate over there who's been waiting patiently. And by the way, do you guys not like those chairs? We bring comfortable chairs for our guests to sit in. Don't fall asleep, okay? Don't fall asleep over there. You got a busy day. All right, so real quick, I want y'all to introduce yourself to everybody. And Michael, pull that microphone down a little bit, get it closer to your head. Bend it. You can bend it. You won't break it. Yep, bend it. There we go. And Miss Kate, I want y'all to introduce everybody to yourself, and then let's introduce your charity, and then we'll go on, because we could go on for hours, but we'll let y'all introduce yourselves.
Sure. My name is Michael Holmes. I work here at Sparks Toyota, and I am Luca's father, who obviously we started the organization, the foundation of Strongman Luca James. And this is my wife, Kate.
Hi, I'm Kate. Good morning.
Miss Kate, I saw you on TV not long ago.
I know.
You did good.
Thank you.
You did good, by the way.
Thank you.
And I got to meet Luca finally. Last time when my wife was buying the car that day. You had stopped by, I think, with him, and I got to meet Luca, and that was awesome.
Luca thinks he runs Sparks Toyota, so
that's good.
It's a busy day. We got to keep him away. So
that's good, and it's also really cool that you have sent me pictures. I've gotten pictures through Michael of Luca with Cher.
Yes.
Our dogs down at the hospital, and that's what we do. Our charity, Hooked on Miracles. Yep. We fund dogs for the hospital, for the children's hospital.
Oh, yeah.
And they had the pleasure of Cher. I think you've had a couple come visit you.
Cher, I mean, we go to clinic quite often. It's less and less, thank God. But any time that Luca can see Cher, they're more than willing to.
Where are y'all going? MUSC?
MUSC. And
That's my place. So, MUSC is, I know I can't relate to what
he has a
y'all
lot
gone
of
through.
he has a lot of experience with cancer and
So I remember when the Children's Hospital way back in the day was before they built the new Ashley River towers and all. I spent a lot of time in there, and so Santa Claus came during one of my stays. So and I get it, and I do remember a dog coming, but that was back in the early '90s. So that's a great program. That's awesome.
So you were diagnosed at a young age,
very very young age. So that was back in the '80s. And I've had my fair share of major surgeries and, some complications since. I've been to the Mayo Clinic down in Jacksonville Beach, went there for a week. Great group of people. If you ever want to know anything about yourself, go to the Mayo Clinic because their testing is not just a blood test. I went to a podiatrist. I have no clue why. All my stuff's in the gut, but I went to a podiatrist. So spent lots of time there. Get it. Hollings Cancer Center is a wonderful place. The hospitals, I know they've changed. And I will say that I am the president of our Officers Association, so we do have several young kids of officers that are currently there now. I know one is awaiting a heart. We actually are having a softball tournament for him in Charleston, and we have one there now. She is being treated by the MUSC staff. So, yes, MUSC is a great place.
Yeah, Sean Jenkins is great. And I know, from early on when Michael and I first met and I heard the story and we met here, we started talking and you got emotional a couple of times. Obviously, I could get emotional with you because I have kids your ages, their ages, to hear your story, to know how hard you were working, to know what you were going through, and then to hear about, the thing is, like, I know Luca's in maintenance right now. He's in remission.
He's in remission. He completed over 2.5 years of treatment.
Right.
So we are in remission. We're moving forward. He's done with chemotherapy. He finished chemotherapy about a month and a half ago. So we're on the other side. We never thought that we would be at this position. So we are truly, truly blessed.
Right.
And Sean Jenkins has been a home away from home.
Yeah.
And with that, though, there were so many things put on your entire family.
Absolutely.
I mean, from the diagnosis, which, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the diagnosis come out of nowhere? Like there was, you were in for something else.
We thought our son had ear infections, and we went in and had minor surgery to put tubes and adenoids. Like what kid doesn't have tubes these days? And then, a week and a half later, we were being told that our child has cancer. And oh, by the way, we were 20 weeks pregnant at that point too.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was a stressful time, I guess.
It was.
Did he have his ear stuff done at MUSC?
He did not. He had it locally.
Okay.
So, yeah. But as soon as our doctors figured out, it was middle of COVID. People, were more scared of getting COVID than actually figuring out what was going on with, why is this kid getting?
And it was a lot.
fevers.
I mean, during that whole time, he had the tubes in the ears and the adenoids, and that week of just trying to navigate that as a parent, because we hear all about like how great it was going to be and it seemed like everything was improving, and then out of nowhere the fever started again, and it was always like around nap time. It was always
low grade fever. So our pediatrician's like, oh, it's just a fever, and we're like, no, this has been months, and because we just had this surgery, like, something is wrong with our child. And to any parent out there listening, follow your gut. Like, absolutely follow your gut. If you're not getting the answers that you want or think you need, keep going. Absolutely keep going and follow your gut, because it could have been extremely worse.
Had you kept waiting.
Had we kept waiting.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I forgot. You told me y'all were adamant about, no, it's more than.
Yeah, and that's where the whole to advocate for your child, to when your gut feeling and because you're with your kids all the time. Experts are wonderful. They're a great tool, but they're not with your children every day like you are.
No.
Yeah.
And you
100%.
them and when things are bad. But here, when you reached out to me, it's almost been a year that you first came up with. I mean, obviously, so the treatment's over at this point, and you wanted to continue doing something for others that go in that come into this.
With the amount of community and support that we've got,
that y'all received,
that we received, we knew we wanted to do something.
And everyone's like, you all need to wait. You're still in treatment. And we had to follow our hearts, though. And so we did. I mean, technically, if you look up the file of the foundation, it was still while Luca was receiving chemo. But, family for us wasn't extremely close at first. And so our family became this community, the Horry in Georgetown counties, Sparks Toyota. We have an amazing community with Leverage Roofing. I mean, that whole Mullis family understands what we've been through. And so just, from people that Michael knew in the business versus me in my, my career before, to strangers, people are absolutely 100% just like, hey, we're here to pray for you guys. What do you need? And a lot of times we couldn't answer that question of like, what do you need?
Because you don't know.
You don't know. You don't.
And I think for other parents, by going through this journey, I think part of the foundation is the idea that everybody wants to help in some form, in some way. And by having our foundation, by having people participate and support the foundation, it allows us, because we had a front row seat of going through that journey with Luca, that when we find and when people contact us for our organization for help, instead of that feeling where we were and we didn't know what we needed, for a family to come to us and say, hey, we were diagnosed a month ago.
We kind of know where they're going to go.
Right.
We're not trying to put them in a box right now. So the foundation is new, but it will evolve. And so right now, our key mission is to support families in Horry and Georgetown counties that have been diagnosed or in diagnosis, basically receiving some form of treatment. Whether they're at MUSC, whether in Florence, short and long of it is, there is no pediatric center here, let's say in Myrtle Beach. They have to travel. Right. So minimum, they're driving, 90 miles one way? So you're talking gas cards. You're talking time off from work. You're talking grocery bills, just the basics that we take for granted. These people's lives are turned upside down. Yeah. So our start is to, start locally.
At the time of diagnosis, you were working for a clothing chain, right?
I
was.
A
department.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah. And I obviously couldn't continue.
No, you couldn't.
Having, my daughter too. She was our oldest daughter was 11 at the time. We couldn't. She was 2 hours away. How could we expect her to come live at MUSC with us? So we had to, continue care for her here and her schooling and try not to disrupt her life as much as possible. It comes down to even, help with childcare. So our tournament is our vehicle to start supporting, families immediately who have similar stories to ours.
All right, so let's talk about the golf tournament. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, what's the hole-in-one there? What are we shooting?
So in the golf tournament, I believe it's the fifth hole. It's champion number 5.
Sparks Toyota is sponsoring a hole-in-one contest.
Hole-in-one contest. I think it's about 138 yards, if I'm not mistaken, 138, 140. Par 3 is for a brand new 2024 Toyota TRD Sport Tacoma.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a nice truck. It really is.
Too bad you suck at golf.
I mean, look, it might be my lucky day.
Hey, all right,
you never know.
But we got to talk about it. All right, so what golf course? What's the dates?
Yeah.
Let's give everybody the information. We do have some openings right now, right?
Few openings left, absolutely. A few openings left. We can always squeeze an extra team. The course is absolutely gorgeous. We're going to be at World Tour Golf Links Sunday, July 28th. Registration's like 7:30 with a shotgun start at 8:30.
Yep.
And all proceeds go to the Strongman Luca James Foundation. But it's going to be an amazing day. We have so many prizes. We have two gentlemen that have really helped us out. Yeah. And, I mean, besides the hole-in-one for the truck, which we know somebody's going to win, there's some amazing cash prizes and golf tournament.
And we have a lot of silent auction items as well.
Yep. Every golfer that comes in gets a huge bag of, just swag and gear. But they also get entered into a raffle of 25 different, we'll say, local restaurants, businesses, and that kind of stuff for gift cards. And that's
so. If I play with you, does that make me good?
No, not if you play with me, but I can find us a good partner.
Okay.
I can find us somebody that can do that.
Okay.
I can find us somebody that can do that.
Where is that golf course?
World Tour's right down the street.
Right down the street,
right over
in
here.
Myrtle Beach, off
River
of River Oaks.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful. And it does have some really similar holes to the golf course originally was 27 holes.
Yeah.
Correct.
With each hole designed to mimic a famous hole throughout the world.
It can be a little challenging from what I hear. I've never played it.
Oh, they're going to set it up tough?
No.
I think it'll be a good day. I think
golf
it'll
for me
be
is tough in general.
Yeah.
I played that course on what they call a superintendent's revenge, and it is a day where the superintendent gets to set the golf course up however he wants to.
Oh, wow.
As tough as he wants to, and it was near impossible. We actually, on one of the holes over there that was Valderrama is a golf course where they played the Ryder Cup. The Ryder Cup years ago, and one of the holes is a mimic of it.
Modeled after.
They put the pin on a slope, like right on the slope, and we had to make a double bogey max because if you didn't make it, you had a 20-foot putt every time. Every time up the hill and back.
Well, I find it challenging before you get to that point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, before you get up on the green?
Before you get to the green. Yeah, I think
We were there. We were there.
What is it, the girls' tees or senior tees?
You can play the red tees.
Yeah, I'm good.
You can play the red tees or the kids.
I'm going to do that one.
The course is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Michael and I were over there. We brought Luca over probably a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and it's gorgeous.
Maybe Bert can give us some of the balls with his face on.
Yeah, with his face, we'd lose them everywhere. Yeah, our friend Bert Williams works for Monarch Roofing, and he did this whole deal where he did a package, or he did like cases of Titleist golf balls and put his face on them. If you find them anywhere, you call him or contact him at Monarch Roofing, and you get a sleeve of brand new balls.
Huh.
So he's had them found in Savannah. He lost a couple up in the mountains at Cherokee up in Cherokee. But a great idea.
Yeah. It's a great idea.
But we definitely need to get Bert and tell Bert we want to play in it.
We do.
So.
But if we got Bert, then you're just really mad at him. You just like, bam!
You just hit him in the face. Yeah.
I hate to be the buzzkill, but we need to go to commercial.
All right, well, hang on. We're going to give the information out real quick so we can. Michael's got to go sell some cars. So how can somebody get more information on the tournament and get registered? I know you have a great website. I went to it this week.
Absolutely. We just launched thanks to Archetype SC. Our site is launched, so it's going to be www.strongmanluca, which is LUCA, James.com. And you actually can register all online, but we have socials up too. We have Facebook and Instagram. Luca's great aunt, Sherry Vos, her phone number is blasted all over our community. She's our golf tournament chairperson. Literally send her a text day or night. She's got you as well. And they can reach out to Michael or I, where to find Michael at Sparks.
Do you know that Sherry sent me a present?
No. What did she send you?
Send you?
I get to drink.
Yes.
I get to drink my coffee
Yes.
with Luca and Cher.
Yes, I remember.
She sent me a coffee mug
Yeah.
with Luca and Cher on it.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That was the first time Cher was actually ever in the hospital, like that first week, and we just happened to be inpatient, and Luca got to meet Cher.
Yep, I love Sherry, by the way. She's awesome. She has done a lot, and I know she was, the first person that reached out to me before you did.
Yeah.
It was crazy because, I mean.
3 months into Luca's diagnosis, Sherry's like, we're doing this golf tournament for y'all.
Yep.
Because the first 2 times were for, benefit our family. And we're like, we can't. She's like, you just got to show up. And even if you're in the hospital, you don't have to show up just then, Michael.
That was actually a real
So Sunday, July the 28th?
Yep.
Correct.
28th.
Shotgun start at 8:30-ish?
Yep.
Yep.
And then we're going to get all the information on our website
absolutely.
and on social media. And listen, thank y'all so much.
Thank
And you
you.
continue in our
Appreciate
prayers.
you.
Thank you.
And we are going to be involved in some way, shape, or form on the 28th, whether we're fishing. We'll be in the pond. We'll be in the pond. But whether we're playing golf or fishing or anything, we're gonna be involved in any way we can. But thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Great.
All right, and Luke is in our prayers. All right, listen, we're going to go to break real quick, and when we come back on the other side, we'll continue to talk some fishing and everything else. But y'all come back. All right, listen, now we've already had somebody come in and grab a couple hats and shirts. So here we go. Once again, I'm going to tell you, we are right in the showroom here to the right behind the service department. Come over, come grab a hat, a shirt, or whatever, and come find Michael, Chip, any of the sales staff here. Take a demo ride. Tacoma, Tundra, whatever. But we're going to go to break right now. This is Trilogy Outdoors Radio Show here on Gator 107.9. For nearly 10 years, we have loved being involved with some of the best businesses along the Grand Strand and promoting them, their services, and their employees. And Monarch Roofing is second to none. If you're looking for any roofing needs, commercial, residential, our friends at Monarch Roofing want to take care of you. You're looking for affordability, you're looking for the fair pricing, you're looking for honesty, they are who you want to call. If you visit monarchroofing.biz, you can find out more, but let's talk about all the things they do in the community, along with keeping us all dry and safe at home. Roofs for Troops is an incredible group where they're putting new roofs on top of veterans that can't afford it. This group does golf tournaments, fishing tournaments, and everything else to raise money, and we are proud to be a partner in that and hope to help them over the next couple of years continue to grow this. But if you're looking for a roof, you're looking for the right people, you're looking for honesty, reach out to Monarch Roofing, monarchroofing.biz for all your roofing needs today. All right, folks, we are back here live at Sparks Toyota here in Myrtle Beach. And, we're normally coming through the Toyota Tundra studio presented by Sparks Toyota, but we are live on location here and having a great time. And just had the Holmes family on.
You know what? Some sweet folks,
Yep, they are.
Yeah,
I'll just tell you, it's not hard. First time I met Michael and sat down with him, like not really knowing him, and I was like, hey, let's do an interview for the radio show to promote the golf tournament. And sat down, and literally we were both in tears.
Yeah,
when you listen to what they went through and what they're going through and continue to go through.
And they're just some really sweet, classy people.
Yep, and thinking about other people. I mean, that's what they're doing. Like they could have just completely Luke was in remission.
We're done with it.
We're done. Like let's enjoy our family
and move on.
But no, they want to take that stress that they dealt with for so long, and they want to help take it off of other people.
Well,
I think it's great.
I know we do a fishing show.
Yep.
But it was cool that you gave them a voice to come on and do that.
Well,
and promote the golf tournament.
Well, technically now, just so you know, and I know Fred's not going to enjoy this part of it, but we are fins, fur, and feathers here at Trilogy.
That's true.
At Trilogy Outdoors. So while we will be concentrating on fishing for the most part, there will be those freedoms now to talk more fur and feathers.
Sportsmen.
I will say,
and we do kind of live in a sportsman's paradise.
Yeah.
Right behind my house. I'm talking right out my back door.
Don't tell me about some doves or some deer.
My brother-in-law, and my father-in-law, they plant huge gardens every year. Now I'm talking huge. But they also do a fantastic, fabulous job with the sunflower field.
Oh boy, I bet are they blooming?
Oh, they're beautiful.
Really? I would.
Sunflowers are out. They're huge, full heads. We were out there. It was funny last night. You got me on a tangent here.
Bring it on.
Luke and my father-in-law, brother-in-law were out there. We heard bobwhite.
Nice.
We heard the quail, and they were whistling back and forth. We were calling them.
That's not a sound we get to hear much of.
I don't hear it hardly at all.
Nope.
And Luke was like, "Daddy, what was that?" And I told him, "I said bobwhite. I don't hear it very often."
Yeah, it used to be when I was young. Yeah, if you were dove hunting, you would hear the quail in the woods.
You hear the quail, or you jump them up on your way to the field.
Exactly.
Oof, scared the crap out of you.
Yep, they will give you a heart attack.
But I'm glad we get to talk that stuff as well because I enjoy that. I like to fish. Luke and my boys are avid hunters. I mean, we're already talking deer stands and getting lanes cut and stuff like that. But I don't like going in them daggum deer woods right now because it's still too hot. And
look at that, man.
Too many critters.
Now, Dave Bowering is, like I said, I think he's like 5-time salesman of the month.
He's carrying a battery.
And he's carrying a battery in for a customer. But that's just what you get over here.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, but I do love the fact that now we won't have to apologize when we talk a little bit of hunting and other stuff because at the end of the day, I mean, we truly are between Georgetown and Horry County, it's a sportsman's and outdoorsman's paradise. Be it hunting, fishing, whatever.
It is.
But we're going to talk more fishing than anything, as we know, because probably more people do partake in fishing, whether it's saltwater or freshwater.
Yep.
With that being said, let's talk some freshwater. Our Express Electrical Services freshwater segment, and we're going to put Matt on the spot.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Dude, no, you sent me a picture last week, and you talked about how many bass they were catching, how big they were.
It's we do a Tuesday night tournament every week.
Yep.
Our Tuesday night tournament. Rodney does a fabulous job. Rodney, oh my God, Rodney Hardy is doing such a job with that thing that I could not do. I mean, this cat is just blowing it out.
Rodney runs the Tuesday tournament.
He runs the Tuesday tournament.
Good.
He does the weigh-in. Rodney is just, I can't say enough about Rodney.
So what time is your tournament?
Tournament starts, blast off's 5:30.
Yep.
Weigh-in's 8:45. We push it back as long as we can. We're having 40-plus fishermen every Tuesday night, paying up to 3 places. The biggest bass we had come in this Tuesday was 7 pounds.
I saw that.
You talk about a monster. That was a hog.
So what's your entry fee?
Entry fee is $20 a person. We pay out, it depends on how many fishermen we have. We're paying out 2 spots pretty much guaranteed, and then we try to stretch it into 3. It's a 3-fish tournament, aggregate weight. And like I said, you bring them back, we're going to weigh them in, and we pay out that night.
And it's a wad of cash. I love looking at the pictures of the winners with the big fan.
With the
the
20,
fan.
bunch of 20s?
Yeah, and hundreds. I always zoom in.
You see how much?
I always zoom in.
Tell you what, there's some good fishermen. My boys Luke and Lane, they fish it. Luke went out the other day, took his mama, my wife, out, and they loaded.
I heard they went and caught the heck out of them.
He said that we caught 20-plus fish. He just hit it on the right tide, the right weather. It was a little overcast, and they just smoked them.
So the hot weather and the hot water's not affecting the fishing? It's actually going pretty good?
It's going well. It's going really well.
Nice.
We do have some low water out there. We're not as low as the PD by any means.
Right.
But the Waccamaw, she is low. She is low, especially on the northern end of the Waccamaw up near number 9. And those guys, they're really skinny.
Well, they're getting rain through this system.
Yes.
They got a good bit of rain, so you're probably going to get a little better level coming up.
We need it. Even when I'm out there, doing our tours and stuff, I go in some of these backwaters, and I'm having to come up with other routes that I can go because it's just getting too skinny.
Yeah, Luke was saying that the mouth of the marina's gotten low.
Mouth of the marina's gotten low, but it's just due to this drought.
Yep.
All of it. I heard Piotrowski say one day, he said we need a tropical storm minus the wind.
Right.
Yep.
To get us back on online.
I think as much as this rain is helping us, if you've looked at the radar and continue to watch the radar over the next day and a half, it really, unfortunately, looks like everything's pretty much staying right here along the coast.
Right on the beach, yeah.
We really need it to go into Marion, Florence, Sherrill, inland, to get that little PD up and going.
I mean, even Muddy Bay's clear.
Yep.
Wow.
All right, so this is where I wanted to go, and I think if anybody read our social media post about today's show, this is one thing I wanted to say, and Fred, I'm glad you're here because I want you to chime in on this. So we all know that the Georgetown fishery is incredible for everything: king mackerel, Spanish mackerel, tarpon, sheep's head, everything else. So, but if you look at a satellite view right now of Georgetown and water temperatures coming out of Georgetown into the ocean, and if you look at it now versus last year, the water temperature is about 2 degrees warmer coming out of the river than it was last year at this time, and there's not near as much fresh water coming out, and I think that it has completely affected that Georgetown fishery for king mackerel right now, and different things that feed off of that nutrient-rich water that comes down there and mixing in with the salt and creates a great, atmosphere for bait fish and everything else to get in, and I just think it's made a huge effect on, especially the king mackerel, but on that stuff. Now I've heard the tarpon are there.
Yeah.
I've heard they're there, and in pretty good numbers, but that the king mackerel aren't there. And Fred, I just wanted you to chime in on that. I mean,
well, the thing is, when that happens in the bay, so if you talk inside,
right,
it will enhance it. So when you're having a drought situation, as an example, the less fresh water you have, the better the shrimp population is.
Right, exactly.
So you kind of,
it's a double-edged sword.
well, if you got a lot of water, then it tends to push them out, which is pushing everything outside where you're referring to. Okay.
Yep.
But it not necessarily hurting anything on the inside.
Right.
But one thing I've noticed this year that's absolutely different. The tarpons generally will wad up these big schools of mullet, and they're hand grenading them. They're not there. There's schools of menhaden. Look, there's plenty of food there, but it's not the same size.
Right. It's not the big ones.
Yet the mullets I'm seeing are 2 inches instead of being 6 or 8 inches. They're around, but not in the numbers that you would normally see these tarpon really pushing and working over.
Right.
I mean, they'll knot those bigger mullets up together, and the water will look dark. They've got them so tight, and then the tarpon will come up and hand grenade them.
Yep.
I'm not seeing that. Well, that could make tarpon fishing better because there's less for them to eat, and your bait's more attractive. So I've actually had to work to catch bait, which is a little unusual for me. I mean, if it's high tide, I'm having to work to catch bait.
Right.
So it's all different, but I've seen drought years where the shrimping's phenomenal. And I've caught limits free casting.
Yep.
You know, just free casting nets with no bait or anything else in the fall. If you got a drought situation, that's what you deal with.
Are you catching a lot of shrimp in the net down there now?
Yeah, they're small, but they're there. You know, there's plenty of them. But then when you get a lot of water, everything pushes out and things change the opposite way.
Yeah, they've showed up in the inlet too.
So I don't know that it's year after year. It's not so much, you know, people like to refer to the climate. It's just weather.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
it's weather.
It's whatever the weather dictates and what's going to happen, the way things look. Is we're going to get a storm, and it's going to make up. And things always tend to balance out. So
talking about tarpon.
Unfortunately, you're right.
I got a question about the tarpon. I had heard the other day. I got a friend of mine who was telling me about this, and I'm no expert. Will they push up further in the intercoastal? Will they go up toward the freshwater?
I've heard them as far as Bucksport.
Okay.
On a dry year, which is possible now.
I heard schools, and again I was like, you know, really? I heard schools up as far as Waka Wachi.
Yes, and there's a lot of tarpon caught in front of the Hobcall House, which is off Hare Island, which is basically within an eye shot of the ramp downtown. That's actually a decent tarpon spot. There's 2 big bars right there. They kind of guard that entrance at Fraser Point, and those fish get funneled through that narrow area, and then they turn right and head towards the Hobcall House. That's actually a popular tarpon spot. The guys will go out there in the evenings on a rising tide and fish for them right there without even having to go anywhere.
Wow.
So and I've seen them as far up as actually seen them at the High Span Bridge.
Well, I do know. I would think right now you could probably go spend your time between Wachesaw and Bucksport, and if you flounder fished and tried to flounder fish, I guarantee you catch flounder.
You probably would. Yeah, and that's just the way the water is this year, and I've seen it before. And usually we don't have dry years. That deal I was talking about when we were catching the shrimp, that's been, I don't know, it's got to be 12 years ago, I guess. But we had an extreme drought that year. I mean, extreme, but I mean the shrimp are unbelievable in the bay. So one way you lose, another way you gain. So,
yeah.
You know, when one situation is favoring one species, it's, you know, hurting the other one. So, yeah, I think E, to address your comment, I think the fish just orient in different places because of that. It's not so much that there just aren't any there. I mean, just aren't any. It's just they aren't there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just they're orienting somewhere else.
Well, where do you think the Kings are right now?
65, 85 foot of water on live bottom.
On live bottom. You think Kings are overfished?
I don't have a feel for it like I used to. When I was tournament fishing, I really don't know. I can't give you an opinion on that because I'm just not in contact with that enough. The tournaments aren't as prevalent as they used to be.
Right.
They've getting more popular, but back in the day at the King tournament I was involved with Tailwalker.
Yep.
We had 250 boats.
Yep.
We had 100 pro boats and then 150 in addition to that. Are there any tournaments running 250 boats?
So in South Carolina, Mark Pincus's Fall Classic, the one that runs basically 2 months, probably has 150 to 180 boats. Next in line is us with Hooked on Miracles, and we have about 125.
So
that's it.
So if you equate it, and there was a tournament every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Greg and I would fish 3 tournaments a month.
Yep.
With 250 boats. Tailwalker was a big tournament. People came because it was a good payout, and it was a lot of fun and a big party and all that. But it wasn't unusual. If the Pro Tour was there, that's an automatic 100 boats.
Yep.
And then you get all the local guys jump in. And it wasn't unusual to have 150, 250 boats in a tournament.
That tournament was a 2-day tournament.
Yes.
Then, yeah.
Yeah. So, in the Pro Tour, it was ag 2 days.
Right.
Yeah, you had to fish both days.
You had to catch 1 fish each day or 2? I can't remember.
You weighed 1 fish each day.
Okay.
And then the ag would win
in
the pro division. That's the way it ran at that time. So you may have got lucky and got you a big fish first day. You need a backup.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. And I've seen guys that hesitated and didn't want to walk up there with their pump fish and then catch a big one the next day would have won the tournament if they'd walked their 12-pounder up there and weighed him the day before.
Right. Well,
I've seen guys lose because of that. You have to weigh your fish. But it seems to me there was a lot more pressure then than there is now.
I feel like you. I feel the same way you do. I just,
But I don't see. I don't
commercially. Like I don't know what commercially. It just seems to me that there's a lot of pressure on them commercially.
Do you think that's due to the restrictions on other species?
I do.
Well,
I do.
It doesn't leave a commercial guy much option if you want to stay in business.
No. Nope.
So I'm sure that hurts him too.
Yep. Well, listen,
About
y'all.
2 minutes each.
It's been a great time, and Matt, it was a pleasure having you.
I'm so glad
join
to get back.
us finally.
Of course, I listen every Saturday, but
Luke,
it's great
thanks
to
for
get back.
thanks for coming over. Luke's here too, also. But Tommy, thanks for taking the morning off to come and helping me set up, and thanks for the donuts. I'm going to grab a couple once we get done. Y'all come over and visit our friends here at Sparks Toyota. Chip didn't make it back over here, but as you could tell, Chip, and I wanted Fred and Chip to get to talk a little bit because Chip loves fishing down south. He's very knowledgeable. He's a purist. That's the best way to describe him. Fishing-wise, he's a purist,
Gotcha.
And I think you two would hit it off really good.
Yeah, and this is a really nice place too. I don't know.
It is.
You described it some to me, but this is a really nice facility.
It is a nice facility, and like we were talking about, when it comes to service, I can't tell you how easy it is to pull in. You got a writer right there. The writer takes your order. Get
in
you
the
set up.
in the air conditioning.
Oh yeah, in the air conditioning, and then you walk right in here. You got coffee vending machines. Walk around, look at cars.
They got customers coming in and out. Their service area is pretty busy right now, and it's been steady like that since we got here this morning. I've already seen people watching. They were just walked in there. I guess this is where they do the deal right here behind us.
This is the deal behind us. This is the heart of the heart. This is the heartbeat right here.
Yeah, let me go talk to the boss. That's where it is.
Yep, when they say I got a boss.
They're walking steady in with folders. I'd imagine I've seen some customers on the lot. As a matter of fact, I've walked myself, and I've got my eye on two. So I'm going to go have a conversation here shortly.
Well, good.
This is just a really nice place.
Well, SparksToyota.com. Go check out all their inventory. And Chip was saying earlier, they sometimes that online stuff is a little bit off because they had some issues where they were hacked, just like several other dealerships were. But come in, visit, come see a salesman. You got any questions? They got a great online service right there that they can answer you. But come check out all the new inventory here. And listen, remember, the dealer is always in. And even though Patrick's not here right now, the dealer's always in. There's a lot to be said about that. If you need any help, somebody's here to take care of you. And thank you again, Sparks Toyota, for having us. And thanks to Kate and Michael Holmes for coming and sitting down and talking to us about Strongman Luka James and their event. And hope people will get involved in that. we'll get all that information shared. And I guess we'll be back next week. We're going to have to come up with something next week. It's Hooked on Miracles, so we're going to come up with something. And it might be recorded. Who knows? Live. I don't know where I'm going to be fishing. I don't know what we're going to do. But we will come up with something. It'll be great. Hope Tony the Bassmaster enjoyed some extra sleep this morning. But on behalf of Tommy, Mr. Green Jeans Buchanan.
Yes, sir.
On behalf of Captain Sweet Tea. On behalf of the River Rat, Captain Matt. Super Jenna back in the studio. I am Captain E. And this has been the Trilogy Outdoors Radio Show here on Gator 107.9.
We all know that the inlet rocks when it comes to great fishing and good times on the boat. Now the description of why this inlet is so great is now the new bait and tackle shop here to serve a rocking good time to all the fish heads and anglers out there. Ronald Stalvey brings his enthusiasm, excitement, and genuine care for the angler to the new store and is ready to serve all your fishing needs. If it's live bait, hand-tied rigs, the hottest in artificial baits, frozen baits, apparel, and much more, they have you covered. If you need anything that you don't see, just let Ronald know. Stop in and welcome them into town and get all the latest reports. Inlet Rocks Bait and Tackle opens daily at 5:30 a.m. and is located on 17 Business, just a quarter-mile south of the Murrells Inlet Landing. For over 50 years, locals and tourists alike have chosen Crazy Sister Marina for all their needs on the water. Whether to paddle the backwaters of Murrells Inlet on a kayak, tour the inlet in one of their rental boats or pontoons, or to fish with one of their many choices of charter fishing boats. Regardless what your needs are, Crazy Sister Marina has you covered. New for this spring, they are offering free ice to any customers that fill up on gas or bait when visiting their convenient gas stop. Don't forget about their eco tours as well as the always favorite dolphin tours available at Crazy Sister Marina. To find out all the info on everything they offer, visit crazysistermarina.com and let them help you live like a local when you're in town.
Trilogy Outdoors Podcast is a product of Trilogy Outdoors Media. All views and opinions of our hosts and guests are not necessarily those of our sponsors. Trilogy Outdoors is produced and edited by Trilogy Outdoors Media. Be sure to follow us on all the podcast platforms as well as our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And also, don't forget our other brands, Southern English Radio Show and Walk 'Em All Outdoor Magazine. To find more information, visit TrilogyOutdoorsMedia.com. And remember, if it's anything dealing with fins, fur, and feathers, you're going to find it right here on Trilogy Outdoors.